The journey was a rough one, guys. Like, it was not easy. When I first started, I was in school, lost, confused, didn't know what to do, overweight. Really had no motive. I'm going to give you the full journey of my apprenticeship, becoming a tradesman, and now a licensed plumber. The journey I had was really rough, honestly. It was probably like most journeys. Had so many ups and downs, so many loops. And to get where I am today, it was a rough journey, but it was one I'm very grateful for. And I want to let you in on it. So I was in school. I was in year 11. I was lost. I didn't study. I was wagging class. I didn't really care. I was just having fun with my friends. And I was just mucking around. But I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was just so confused. There was so many things. Everyone's like, what do you want to be? What do you want to be? And I had no idea. It's such a big answer, such a big question to answer at such a young age. So I didn't know what to do. And then eventually all my friends were just knocking off. One was going there, one was going there. All getting trades and leaving. And I was just pretty much me left behind. All my close friends have left. One of my closest friend named Julian, he got into roofing. And I was pretty cool. Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know really much about roofing, but I didn't want to do it. I did a bunch of apprenticeships. My cousin was finding apprenticeships for me, and I was just doing week trials for a bunch of guys. There was one guy, I did a week trial for him. He really liked me, put me on again. It was very hard work as a carpenter, like carrying LVLs, doing stuff, and they're all Australians, and I was only Lebo, and I felt like there's a bit of racism behind them. But that's not against them and themselves. I think they just weren't used to a Lebanese kid. I was working for them for a bit. They'll pay me $10 a day because they wanted me again and again. I pretty much was over school, so I wasn't really back at school. I just kept going with them for a little bit. They'll pay me $10 a day, and they were really mean to me, but I was learning the trade. They'll teach me a bunch of things, which was cool. Like how to pass up a tool with a handle, how to pack up a ute, make sure you sweep up, look for everything. It was like a good foot in the door, should I say. Anyways, I was there for about 6 weeks. I was working for him, and I kept asking for an apprenticeship or what they want to do. They said they just want me to use as labor. And my brother goes, well, if they want to use as a laborer, at least get paid more than $10 a day, at least $20. Like, you're being a laborer. Like, come on, man. So I asked for more money, and then that's when he goes, oh, I don't want you anymore. So I sent him my final invoice because he hasn't paid me yet, because you should pay me in cash back in the day. So I sent him my BSB and my number. And he goes, yeah, I paid you. Never did. I begged for the money. It was like, what, $500? He wouldn't even pay me. And I worked lots of overtime. And that sucked. And then he hit me up like 2 weeks later. He goes, oh, my mate wants work. Do you want to go work for him? So I started working for that guy. I asked for $20 a day. I did it about 3-4 weeks with him. Once again, the racism was back in. They were roasting me, bullying me. But, I had thick skin. I was used to getting bullied in primary school. So I kind of dealt with it. Getting messed around, did a fair bit more time with them, putting flooring on, putting LVLs, trusses, timbers, all that stuff. It was a good foot in the door. Like, I'm happy I done it because I learned a lot. But all the racism and stuff like that, it made me realize if I am going to get into a trade, it has to be a good crew. That's what made me go to my friend Julian, done roof plumbing. I called him and go, hey, bro, I'm struggling to find work. What do you recommend? He goes, bro, come with me, bro. We'll work roof plumbing together. It'll be cracker. I'm like, mad, plumbing? I didn't even think about the roofing bit. I heard the plumbing bit. So then me and Julian were doing roof plumbing. And at first it was okay. The boss was a bit of a hard ass, but it was all right. I was throwing up sheets. I was staying on the ground most of the time because on the roof I was a big boy. I was like 140 kilos. I was just dinging sheets, ding, 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 ding. So I didn't really go on the roof too much. I just used a passed up sheet. Once again, glorified labourer. I was doing that for a while, but then it was getting bad. So I did that for about a year and a half, and with a lot of traveling, a lot of early morning 4 a.m. wake ups, it was a lot to deal with. There was a lot of drugs and alcohol involved in that company. The boss was always off his head. Mind you, he was a good boss, paid me fairly good, but he was always off his head on drugs and stuff. So his mood was very versatile, happy, sad, angry. Like, it was a lot to deal with, especially as me. And I was dealing with my own issues, with partying and going out and stuff. And it really put a lot of contentions with my friend. Like, we used to argue a lot because we were both apprentices. And it was a lot of good memories. Like, we went to Canberra for a couple of weeks and I learned about that. A lot of arguments with my boss about money and just the drugs with my boss. He used to roast me a lot. Like, it was very hard on me, but it was a great learning experience to say. But I would never do roofing again. Like, you have to be very nimble and fast. One time I was running on the roof sheet and I got pretty good at it. And then there's like wide mesh. There's like purlins and there's wide mesh put down. And I was running on the purlin and I fell through the wide mesh. And I nearly fell like, I'd say 5 stories, which was kind of crazy. That was a weird experience. I cut my leg, got some scars. A lot of things happened in that job. I want to brush over it because it wasn't the best experience of my life. There was a lot of drugs and alcohol involved in that company, and it just was a very toxic environment. Me and my friend had actually a falling out, my best friend Julian, but we come back to that. So then I asked God, like one day, I'm like, to my boss, like, are you gonna put me on as apprentice? Like, are you gonna go TAFE? He goes, nah, mate, you still need more months. I'm like, I've been here for a year, and you want to make another 6 months of the way for apprenticeship. Stuff this. We're working with, actually at the time, we're working with asbestos. I'm like, this is the shittest job. You treat me like shit. The company's like, just everyone's just off their head and everyone's yelling at each other. It was such a toxic environment. I go, you know what, Nassim, just quit, go somewhere else. So I quit, and I was a bit lost at the time. And then this plumber, my cousin knew a plumber, and he goes, Naz, do you want to try to do plumbing? I'm like, oh, plumbing? Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. And at that time, my shower head was leaking at home, and my dad was going to throw it out and put a new one in. But I go, Dad, let me try and fix it, because I'm going to do plumbing soon. At least I want to try, like, figure out plumbing. So I got super glue and super glue the shower head on, and I turned the water on, and it worked. It worked pretty good for about 4.6 seconds, but the satisfaction of the hose not leaking for 4 seconds, like, man, this plumbing's sick. Then it bursted everywhere and it broke. I had to buy a new shower head anyways. But that satisfaction, I'm like, wow, how about if I feel like this all the time? Like this satisfaction of like fixing something. So then I worked with my first company. This company was a lot. It was a lot in the sense that it taught me a lot about being a man, a lot about, they were Italian guys, so they're very well-groomed men. I know it sounds very strange, but they're very about their health and shaving your body and looking good and be respectful. And I was Lebo with a shaved head and a line and fat. And then my tradesman at the time, he was a very, very good guy. He helped me a lot. It was a good experience, but this one time, I'm going to say the negative, unfortunately. This one time I was at my sister's engagement, and my boss used to say 6:30 start every day at his house. And then, so I'm at my sister's engagement. I used to message him, what time, boss, today, boss, what time? It was 6:30 each time. At the day of my sister's engagement, I forgot to message him what time for tomorrow. And he just, started work at 5:30 a.m. He didn't bother calling me, didn't text me, didn't anything. I rocked up, he goes, next time, make sure you're ready, always message me. I go, mate, it was my sister's engagement, like at least give me some slack. If he's not good enough, you should always be ready. I'm like, whoa, this guy treats me like shit. And then the next following day, he made me cut his grass and wash his car. And I was doing heaps of overtime work for free. And I'm like, this guy's treating me like shit. He was a good bloke, but just a lot of things were just pissing me off. I'm like, I can't keep working overtime. I can't keep cutting your grass. I can't keep washing your car and getting disrespected. This sucks. And then there's another Arab guy in my ear saying, Naz, come work for me. Come work for me. So I thought, well, the grass is greener. Let me go check out the grass. It was not greener at all. It was the worst. This was the worst boss ever. He was an Arab fella. I don't care if he watches. He was the worst. Yelling, screaming, disrespectful, underpaying. He was the most toxic boss ever. The way I got treated by this boss was honestly like, it was the most negative experience of my life. He has a bad reputation in all of Illawarra, just the way he treats people. You know, and we used to eat lunch together and he used to be nice to me. He was very lonely at the time. But then he'll be back to being bad. Like this boss, guys, if you want to understand a shit boss, this is the boss. This boss was the worst person ever. Yelling at me, used to throw away my tools. Yeah, this tool shit, throw it, buy better ones. Wake up early, no overtime, just so much stuff. Once I accidentally dinged his car, the tiniest little scratch, wallah, was so tiny. He made me pay like $3,000 out of pocket just for this tiny little scratch. And I'm an apprentice by earning $500. And then another time, he made me go work this Sunday. I go, all right. I go, how much are you going to pay me? He goes, Sunday, I'll give you $250. I promise $250 work Sunday. As long as the job gets done, I don't care what time you finish. I worked a Sunday, I asked him for the money when it comes pay time. He goes, I'm not paying you. You left early. I go, mate, I finished the work like you told me to. He goes, no, fuck you. You're not getting paid. Like, what the hell? What the fuck is this bloke, bro? Treating me like shit, disrespect me. I'm working every Saturday overtime for not getting paid for it. You're the worst person. You called me a donkey so many times. I was trying to get close to my religion, so I didn't really check out girls when I was driving my car. He goes, what? You think you're a top Muslim because you're staring at girls? Look at them, they're hot. Mind you, this guy, Tinder Gold Premium Plus, bro, he was just the worst guy. I don't care if he watches this. Fuck you, man. I hate you, bro. Everyone knows him, man. Anyways, he didn't pay my money. I'm like, Dad, bro, this guy just doesn't pay money. Treats me like shit. My dad's like, just stay with it, stay with it. I'm like, no, I'm not fucking dealing with this shit anymore. I quit. That was a whole year of this, 3 months of that guy. 6 months, sorry. 6 months of that guy. It was hell. I did high rises with him. I learned a little bit, learned how to fucking carry tools up 20 floors of stairs. It was just Jahannam. It was just the shittest time ever. The guys I met were pretty good, but it was just very, very shit, man. Then I quit that, and then I got just working, laboring for a bit with a carpenter, which was alright. I knew him pretty well, but he didn't want to give me an apprenticeship. He was just needed some hand, and it worked out good. That was about 3 months of that, and then I got hit up to do roof sprinkling. It's still in a plumbing apprenticeship, so I was doing roof sprinkling for about 6 months, and that was pretty good. I was learning the trade and stuff, but everyone I just didn't get along with one person, bro. They're all like dementors, all just sucked energy. They all smoked weed, they all hated their wife. The job itself, everyone just bludged around and they were just blaming people. It was good to learn how to do fire sprinklers with the stuff, but you're just doing the same thing over and over again. With plumbing, it's always new and fresh. And every time I would be on site, I always talk to the plumbers, like, oh, how's plumbing going? And I longed to be a plumber because I enjoyed it so much, because I still had TAFE for it. And I did it for a little bit, but then this one time, some of the roof all leaked everywhere. And the one worker you had, I think he had Asperger's. He was such a bad worker. And that's got nothing to do with Asperger's, but the way he was walking and talking, it was very hard for me to connect with him. Anyways, he was the biggest bludger ever. Done nothing, bro. This guy is a bludger, bro. Like, trust me, he sucks. And now, I know, guys, sorry for the yap, but I just want to let you know my whole experience. So when you leave the trade, when you leave school and want to jump into a trade, you're going to know what to expect, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a lot of hard work. And a lot of digging. In all my apprenticeships besides the roof sprinkling, a lot of digging and roofing. Digging holes. Just like, there was so much stuff I'm just glossing over, but it was just, the apprenticeship was so hard, bro. You get blamed for everything. You have to clean up everything. You blame for missing tools, and you get disrespected. Don't get me wrong, some days are great. A lot of times, like, it was just so hard. It was so exhausting, mentally draining. It was like, at times I questioned my reality. I'm like, why am I doing this? Is this even worth it? Anyways, back to fire sprinkling. This kid, I'll call him a kid, he's a grown man, but got problems. He made all these fire sprinklers leak. He didn't tie them properly, and I got all the blame for it, because he was the nephew of the guy that owned it. They go, Naz, you're out. I'm like, what the fuck? It wasn't me. He goes, nah. He said it was you, you're out. Anyways, got fired from that. Never been fired before. Got let go. And then finally, what happened then? Asked around to find a plumber. And then at race, they go, oh, this guy, we can work for him, but we heard bad things about him. He's a bit of an aggro. That was when I met Jimmy. Jimmy was like my best friend. I knew him in primary school, but we're never really close. I started working with him, and that was just such a great apprenticeship. Doing TikToks, learning the trade. Jimmy taught me so much. The boss was great. It was such a good experience. We worked really far, but with working with a close mate, it was like we used to train together during COVID. We used to work out, make TikToks, eat. It was just like, probably those 3 years working there was just such a positive experience. It was honestly so good. That's when I fully started enjoying my apprenticeship. There was another guy that worked there for a little bit, and he was there before me. But then I got there, and I kind of out-trumped him in a way. I don't want to say that, but I really liked him, but he always had this negative thing towards me. He ended up quitting and blaming it on me. I don't know. I think we were cool, but he had something else going on. And me and Jimmy, we worked for years. We had just such a great time filming TikToks, having such a good experience. Like, those 3 years were probably like the peak of my life. Just hanging out, working, learning. They were just such good experiences, and I was really starting to enjoy my trade industry. But then his work started slowing down after the last 3 years, the last a couple months, and I stopped getting a job at Blue Scope, so I jumped into that. Blue Scope's like factory work. Factory work sucks. I'm like, this has better money. I can't wait. I walked into factory work. You're just in this metal steel frame, and it is hell. Imagine being a plumber out in the sun, talking to clients, this, that, to just being in a dark frame, loud noises, steel, shed, just all day, every day, 12 hours a day. You feel like you're in the Matrix. It sucks, bro. Like, I don't know how people do factory work. Yeah, the money was good, but it was draining the life out of me. I hated it. I quit that in 2 weeks instantly. Then I caught up this guy I work with now for Elite Plumbing, and he is a legend. He's such a good bloke. Don't be wrong, we have our arguments here and there, but this is just where my life just changed completely. I got into my gym so much, my health, all the crew I work with now, they're just such great blokes. Everything was just coming in together. Like, my life just started elevating. He taught me so much. He was such a hard boss. Like, he was the hardest boss I've had, but he was such a loving guy that he made up for it. And his hardness, in like his work ethic and his quality and the way he wanted things, really elevated my plumbing from this to just being a great plumber in my opinion. And I've been doing that for the last 3 years, and it's been just like the best experience ever. Throughout that, I got my tradesman, and I also got my license as a plumber. Started my own plumbing company called Plumbing by Nas, and I do that on the weekends after work on the side while continuing with this company. So it's a lot. I know it's a lot. So my trade industry, my knowledge, my growth, my journey, it's been so much. Like getting into a trade, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not just one straight path. It's up and down and there's sideways and battles and bad bosses and good bosses and headaches and fighting with workers. And there's so much to it. You're gonna question the existence. You're gonna question it. But what I did do is I did try things out. I did have a crack. I did have a go. Like a lot of people hit me up, Naz, what should I do? Should I do plumbing? Should I do this? Should I do electricity? Just give it a go. Give it a crack. I tried 3 different things out, maybe even 4. And I just tried it all out. I tried different companies. I tried different experiences. And I just learned. And everything was an experience. No matter how good or bad it was an experience. And it helped me learn and grow me up. So if you're ever looking to become a tradie, you just have to give it a crack. I can't tell you what's right for you. What's right for you is different to everyone. You know, the trade industry is gonna love you a lot once you know it. But starting up, it's hard, and you're gonna question existence. But the main thing is, you can take away from this is don't get disrespected. Don't take disrespect for too long. Make sure you're getting paid right and learn. Like if you do those 3 things, you're gonna have a great trade industry. You're gonna love it. You're gonna make good money. And you're gonna have a great success. Guys, that's my journey as becoming a tradie. Have no fear. Naz is here. Peace.